What's going on Inside Out? How are we doing tonight? Awesome. Well, hey, if I haven't got the chance to meet you or talk to you before, my name is Jaxon. I'm a senior at Vista Ridge High School, and I am just really excited to be up here with y'all tonight for this last part of this series that we've been in called For Austin. And I don't know about y'all, but I've really loved being in this series. I've loved talking about this because over the course of this series, we've just been talking about where North Point's going to be going as a future, where Inside Out's is going to be going as a future, and just being able to vision cast and just being able to see where we're going to be going is so cool. And I've been able to actually do that for my life, myself, just to see where I'm going and what my future is. But whenever we look at our future, I tend to think that whenever we do that, we tend to always look back at where we came from too, and tend to be nostalgic and tend to look back and see where we came from in life. And it's just been cool for me to take a step back and sort of look at my freshman, sophomore, and junior years, so sitting here as a senior and just being like, wow, how much I've changed, and wow, I made some stupid decisions, and wow, I looked ugly. But I mean, it's still, it's cool, just cool to look back. Like for me, just one of the biggest memories, like because of this week, we actually had I had my last Friday night lights that I actually couldn't go to, but my last Friday night football game that I could have gone to. And it just brought me back to whenever I had my first season of football, my first Friday night lights as a Ranger, and I got to sit in student sections like these and throw powder, which you're really not allowed to do, but we did anyways. And it was cool to sit there and be in that moment and just absorb it, and just being able to cheer on a football team that was winning and was going to state and had the chance to go to playoffs. And it was super cool to look at that and then think about the memories that we had at playoffs. If you're a senior and you're a Ranger here, and whenever we went to the Palace in round 4 and played Vandy, and they beat us in district, but at that game we got to beat Vandy to go to the 5th round of playoffs and have a chance to play for the state championship. It was so cool, and we just got to sit there and we were saying like, screw you Vandy, because everybody hates Vandy in the district. And it was just cool to sit there in that moment, and then also just be able to look back at it and just say like, wow, look how far I've come. And it's cool to actually compare it to what my year has been like right now, because this year I actually go to the football games for a different reason. I went for a different reason, and I love our football team. I have a bunch of friends that go on there, they work hard, but who I actually go to the football games to see is our band. Is our band. And if you didn't know, if you didn't hear, I mean, Twitter, Instagram, everything's blowing up. Vista Ridge Band actually just took first in state this week. So if you're a Vista Ridge Band member in here, I just want to give you a quick shout out. We know you work hard, and we're just so grateful. Friday night sale, Wiggle, whatever we're doing up in the student section, we're turning up. It's because of y'all. And it's just been so cool just to sit here and just sort of compare the two and just be like, wow, look how far I've come and look where I'm standing at today. And since we've been looking at North Point's future, I think it's hard for me not to look at my future and where my future holds. And hopefully, if the senioritis doesn't hit really hard, my future is supposed to be college. Supposed to be college. It may not happen. Who knows? Maybe senioritis will hit and I'm going to have no motivation, but hopefully it should be college. And whenever I think about my future when it comes to college, there's so much stress and so much anxiety that comes in here. For the seniors in the room, I don't know how it is for you. Maybe you know where you're going, what you're doing, and what you want to do with your life, and you've known that since you came out of the womb. Like, more power to you, not me. Like, I've been freaking out. I've been panicking. There's been so many things that have been stressing me out about college. I think the first one is the biggest one. It's the freshman 15, all right? Like, this is a big concern of mine. Like, I don't know if this is going to happen like it maybe does. Guys, there are colleges out there that have the meal plans are unlimited. 24/7, 365. You can go down to the cafeteria and order whatever you want. That is very, very tempting. I like food. I eat a lot of food. Like, this freshman 15 may not be real for me. Maybe like freshman 30, freshman 45. Like, I don't really know what it's going to be. Should I just go to college and have my freshman 15 and just say like, screw you, because like I already have it? Like, no big deal. Like, this has been a big fear of mine. The next one happens to actually be my roommate. And I've heard so many different things when it comes to this, like, you should room with your friends, like, that's fun. Or it's like, no, you shouldn't room with your friends because at the end of the first semester, you're going to want to kill each other. And I'm like, I don't want to kill my friends. Like, that doesn't sound fun. And if I don't have a roommate, that's my friend. Like, what happens if I get a random person? Guys, I do not want a sociopath as a roommate. I do not want a psychopath as a roommate. I do not want a serial killer as a roommate where I have to fear for my life every time I walk in my dorm. Like, that is not what I want. And this is a big fear of mine. And the next one, these two fears want to happen without my next fear is actually where the heck I'm actually going to be spending the next 4 years of my life, right? Like there's so many options. For some of you, you're like, oh yeah, UT, A&M. If you can get into UT, more power to you, or Aggie, or whatever it is. Like for me, like I have no idea what I want to do. Do I want to stay here? Do I want to go elsewhere in the nation? Do I want to go to England? Like I don't freaking know. Like where do I want to go? Like where do I want to spend the next 4+ years of my life? The next one has caused me a lot of stress. Is major, and I, for the longest time, thought I knew what I wanted to do until I got to senior year, and now I really don't know what I want to do. I'm from like business to like engineering to communications, like a lot of different paychecks, a lot of different jobs. Like I don't know what I want to major in, and it's freaking me out. The next one, the big stress that I have in my life is my friends. And the thing is that wherever I go, am I going to make friends? Is my roommate going to be my friend? Or am I just going to go to my dorm and cry? Like, I don't know. Like, what is college going to be like for me? Will my friends here remember me? Will we still be friends? Or am I just going to be another number? Am I just going to be replaced whenever I leave? It's a genuine fear of mine. And the next one, I think, is probably the biggest just because it's on my mind all the time. From the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, this fear is always on my mind. And that fear is if I made a difference. If the 4 years that I spent here and the 17 years I spent with Austin, I used that time wisely. That I was made to be put in this moment, and did I use the most of the moment that I was put in? Or did I just keep wishing for another day to come, another day to come, another day to come, until June 1st when I walk across the stage and I realized that I did not do anything with the time I had here. And I think the reality is that we can all sort of agree with that, whether you're a freshman or you're a senior, you're anywhere in between that. Because if you're living and you're breathing and you have a heartbeat, I'm pretty sure that we all want to make a difference. We all do. We want to be able to impact somebody's life. We want to be able to speak into somebody's life, impact an organization, impact the city, heck, even impact a world. We want to make a difference to the world that we're living in right now. But the reality is that we all get sucked into this thing on our first day of freshman year and each and every single year after that. And it's what I like to call the high school trap. I'm not saying high school is a trap. Trust me, when I sit in calculus and learn what I'm learning, I truly believe high school can be a trap. But that's not what I'm talking about, all right? And I'm not saying that high school is not fun. That high school is just boring and it's no fun and you just go through the motions and all that stuff. I'm not saying that because high school can be fun. There's good memories. There's good times. There's good nights that we have. Like high school is fun. But what I'm trying to say is that whenever we step foot first day of freshman year into high school, we get sucked into this trap. And regardless of who you are, we all get sucked into this trap. And what I mean by this is that whenever we start high school, whenever we walk in freshman year, we have this timer that's waiting to start, right? We have this timer that's waiting to start. And this time represents the time that we have in high school. And when we step one foot in freshman year and that bell rings, that time starts. And we go throughout freshman year and it's so exhilarating. And oh man, 4 classes in one day, like that's pretty cool. And then we go through the first 6 weeks and that's fun. And then maybe we sort of like get good grades, we don't get good grades, we go to some football games, and then all of a sudden we're just in this cycle. It's A-Day, B-Day, A-Day, B-Day, weekend. A-Day, B-Day, A-Day, B-Day, weekend. A-Day, B-Day, A-Day, B-Day. Oh, cool, homecoming, that's fun. That ends. A-Day, B-Day, A-Day, B-Day, weekend. Oh, cool, Christmas break, cool. Like, I'm good. Like, first semester's over with. Then we go back to it. A-Day, B-Day, A-Day, B-Day. Spring break, whoop, turn up. Then we're back at school again. A-Day, B-Day, A-Day, B-Day. Sweet summer. I've been waiting for this since, August. Then we have fun in summer. We turn up in summer. We do some fun things. And then we go back sophomore year. And then we start the cycle all over again. A-Day, B-Day, A-Day, B-Day. Ooh, another homecoming. Probably not going to go anyways. A-Day, B-Day, A-Day, B-Day. We spend more time with friends. We do these things. A-Day, B-Day, A-Day, B-Day. Weekend. Don't do anything there. A-Day, B-Day, A-Day, B-Day. Oh, cool. Yeah, I got a job. That's fun. Then you actually have to start going to that job. But you get money. Then you have to go to the job again. And you're like, yeah, this kind of sucks. A-Day, B-Day, A-Day, B-Day. And then Christmas break happens again. And you're like, cool, I've been waiting for this since I started school. And you just keep going through this cycle over and over and over again. And then junior year, yes, upperclassmen, let's go. A-Day, B-Day, A-Day, B-Day. Cycle still starts again, right? Maybe you go to prom and you're like, this is so much fun. I love prom. A-Day, B-Day, A-Day, B-Day. You keep going through this cycle over and over and over again. Then you hit senior year and you're like, thank you, I've been waiting for this since freshman year? Like, sweet, awesome. Then you do college applications and you do all these things and you're like, oh my gosh, am I even going to make it through senior year? A-Day, B-Day, A-Day, B-Day. Before you know it, you're walking across the stage on graduation. And you take step after step after step. And you start to realize that your time is slowly running out. When you get to your second semester of senior year, maybe some of us stop caring. Maybe some of us, we've just given up. And then we realize that our time is so limited. Then graduation actually comes and we walk across that stage and we realize that our time is out. That we realize our time in high school is over. We realize that our days of walking across the halls of whatever high school you're going to are done. And I don't know about y'all, I've loved high school. High school has brought me some great memories, but this high school trap, this cycle, just sounds very repetitive and it can get very boring at times. I tend to ask myself, is there more to it? Is there more to my time in high school? Can I do more than just going to my A day and B day classes and wishing for a day or wishing for another day or waiting for that test to go by so my mom won't be mad at me, right? Like, is there more to my high school experience? And the reality, there is. And there's a way that we can get out of this trap and we can make the most of our time. And when we do this, we actually have the opportunity to make a really big difference. A big difference in our lives, in other people's lives, in our schools, in our cities, and heck, even the country and the world that we live in today. We have the opportunity to do that. But the question I think to myself is then, okay, then how can I do this? How can I make a difference? How can I know that the time that I spent here in high school, the 4 years that I spent here in high school were worthwhile, they were worth meaning. I made a difference with my time. How can I actually do that? And what I think is so interesting is that for over thousands and thousands of years, this has been on the forefront of their mind. And what I also think is cool, for thousands and thousands of years, people have been writing about this topic. They've been writing to people, they've been writing about this topic on how to make a difference, how you can actually make a difference. And one of the guys I want to look at that wrote about this is a guy by the name of Paul. And Paul has a very interesting story because Paul has made a difference in two different ways. Paul has made a negative difference and a positive difference in this world. Because half of Paul's life, he was his job, his description, everything that he was doing in life was to persecute and to maybe even kill sometimes a specific group of people. He thought he was making a difference in the world for the better, but in reality, he was just pushing and he was shoving and he was trying to deteriorate and get all these people, this certain group of people, out of the world. That's what Paul's life was. And that group of people were Christians. But one day, Paul actually had an encounter with Jesus. He had an encounter with Jesus, and after that happened, he ended up flipping his life around, and he ended up putting his full faith and trust in Jesus, and he started to lead other people around him to do likewise. It's just such an interesting story. But the time I want to look at in Paul's life is the time when he was actually writing to a group of people about this. Because the group that he was writing to, they were called Philippians. And the Philippians, they were leading this church in this area that they were in. And then all of a sudden, they started to freak out. They were like, Paul, we want to make a difference. Paul, how can we make a difference? I don't feel like the things that we're doing are good enough. Paul, how can we make a difference? And Paul has a lot of wisdom in his life, and he's been through a lot. And this is what Paul says. In Philippians 2:3, he says, do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. I know what some of y'all are thinking. You read this and you're like, okay, it's pretty much like, don't be selfish. Like, I get that, but how does this apply to me making a difference in my life? And the way that I want to explain this, and the way that I think Paul is trying to explain this, is what he's saying is that a lot of times in life, and other people's life, I'm not saying that y'all do this, I'm saying I'm with you here too. A lot of times people, and maybe us at times, we live a life like this. We tend to have ourselves in the middle of the picture, and we tend to try to find everything that's going to do to benefit our lives. And we become a sponge to life and suck everything in, but never squeeze anything out because we want to take everything in life. We start to say statements like, what can my parents do for me? What can my parents do for me? What car can they buy me? How much money can they give me? What can they do for me? We tend to ask ourselves, hey, what do our boyfriends or our girlfriends, what can they do for us? What can my significant other do for me? And if they're not doing anything for me, and if they're not giving enough time or they're not giving enough stuff to me, then I'm just going to go find a new one because I can. What are they doing for me? We tend to ask, hey, what can my teachers do for me? Yeah, I know I'm failing your class, but what can you do for me? How can you bump up my grade? I don't need to put in any effort. What can you do for me? We tend to ask, hey, what can my coaches or my teammates do for me? Hey, give me the ball. Hey, give me more playing time. Let me sit in the spotlight, and y'all feed my energy. Y'all feed my attention. But what can y'all do for me? We tend to ask inside out, hey, what can you do for me? What can I get out of this? How can I be spiritually better? How can I be emotionally better? How can I be a better person? What can you do for me? But you got to give that to me. I'm not going to work for it. No. You got to give it to me What can my small group or my small group leader, what can they do for me? How can they invest in me? How can my small group leader invest in me? I know their job is hard, but it can't be that hard, right? Like, what can you do for me? How can you give things to me? Some of us here in the room tonight, we say, God, what can you do for me? God, I ask for so much, and I keep asking. So what are you going to give me? What are you going to bless me with? And if you're not going to do anything for me, then I'm just going to put you aside until you decide to give me what I want. But until then, you're just going to sit on the side. And what Paul is saying is that a lot of people live their lives like this. And some of us here, maybe all of us here, we tend to live like this sometimes. But what Paul is saying is that these people don't make a difference. That whenever it comes to using their time wisely, this is not how to do it. This is not how we make a difference. Paul would actually even go as far to say that these people, do you know what they are? They're forgettable. They're forgettable. Ooh, that's not a good G. They live a forgettable life. Sorry, I know my handwriting is bad. Don't. But they live a forgettable life. That their life, that whenever they look back on their life, they don't really feel like they did much with their time. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to live a life like this. I don't want to live a forgettable life. I don't want to look back when years to come and think that I didn't do anything with my time to make an impact, to make a difference. So then what is next? Then what's our alternative, Paul? Like, what can we do? Paul reveals that to us in the next verse, and this is what he says. He says, rather in humility, value others above yourself, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of the others. Paul is saying that, yes, we have two options, and most people tend to live their lives like this. They tend to live their lives like this, absorbing everything, trying to benefit from life. But he's saying the people that make a difference are the people that know their value in life, that know that they're important, but they take everything that they have in life and they say, I could hold on to it and I could try to do stuff with it, but I know I'm not going to make a difference with it if I just keep it to myself. So rather, I'm going to go and let it go to the benefit of other people's lives. We tend to say statements rather than, what can my parents do for me? What can I do for my parents? Saying, they work so hard for me. They put food on the table for me. What can I do for my parents? What can I do for my boyfriend or my girlfriend? What can I do for them? They've done so much for me. They love me. They serve me. How could I just reciprocate that back to them? What can I do for my teachers? What can I do for my teachers? How can I help them out? I know it's stressful. I know it's hard. I know that job is not easy. What can I do for my teachers? What can I do for my coaches or my teammates? What can I do for them? Well, instead of me trying to absorb everything, absorb the spotlight, what if I let somebody else step in the spotlight? What if I give the ball to somebody else or give somebody more playing time? Well, what can I do for the benefit of my teammates or my coaches? What can I do for the benefit of my friends? Man, my friends have been there through me, through the thick and the thin. How can I show them? What can I do just to show them and try to benefit their life? Man, what can I do for Inside Out? Inside Out's done a lot for me. They've done so many things for me, and they provided me a place where I can just come and be accepted and belong and be loved for who I am. What can I do that? How can I make this a place that my friends can experience the exact same thing that I have experienced? What could I give to Inside Out? What could I give to my small group or my small group leader? Because I know that job isn't easy. I know they have a family and they have a job themselves. And coming here to be a small group leader is just, they're taking out time to invest in you. And gosh, what can I do just to say thank you? What can I do just to benefit their life? What can I do to benefit the people in my small group? Because they've been there for me too. What can I do to benefit them? Some of us say, what can I do to benefit God? And what Paul is saying here, and he's saying those are the people that make an impact. That these people that live this life are impactful. They're impactful. They live an impactful life. They do impactful things. They impact an organization. They impact a city. They impact a country. Heck, they even impact the world. What Paul is saying is, if he can sum it up in one word, is that the thing that we need to do in order to make a difference, we can't get things out of life. No, we got to give. We got to give. And some of you all may be thinking, okay, then what can I give? What can I actually give to actually make an impact in life? And I think that we can do two things to impact. And the two things that we can give to make an impact, to make a difference. And the first thing that I think we can give is our time. Because regardless of who you are, if you're living and you're breathing and you have a heartbeat, you have time that you can give. You have time that you can give to the people that you love, the people around you. Maybe for us, that's investing in the next generation, investing in the people that come after us. I want y'all to think of a person here in the room. Maybe they're in the room, maybe they're not, but a person that has impacted your life. Juniors and seniors, maybe that was a senior whenever you were a freshman or freshman and sophomore. Maybe that's a senior in this room tonight, not in this room tonight. I don't know who it is. But the reason, I want you to think of that person, and I think the reason that person pops into your mind is because of the time that they leveraged towards you. If it's a senior whenever you were a freshman, they gave time to you. They did not have to give a time of day about you. They could have just lived their senior life, pulled the seniority card, and just done their own thing, but instead they decided to come to you. And they decided to give their time, leverage their time towards you, and invest in you. And that made an impact on your life. That's why I know, and that's why I firmly believe that our time is one of the most valuable things that we can give to make a difference. The second thing I believe that we can give in order to make a difference is our money. And I know some of us may be thinking like, oh, great, money again in church. And I know this maybe has some pushback, but over the course of the last couple weeks, we actually have been talking about money. We've been talking about money in our lives. And one of the practical ways that I think that we can give money is actually to For Austin. And some of y'all may be thinking here in this room that you've had some pushbacks against giving to For Austin, this whole pledge thing, and I get that because I'm along with you too. I've sat in the crowd and I've listened to the same exact messages as well. And I've had some of the same pushbacks that y'all do that maybe some of y'all are thinking like, I don't have a whole lot of money. And I've had the same exact thoughts too. Guys, I have $11 in my bank account. That's not a whole lot of money I can give, all right? I've been thinking the same exact things as y'all. And the other one I've been thinking, maybe juniors and seniors, y'all can relate with this one, is just that I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to be here to experience the building, experience the environment, so why should I give to something that I'm not going to be experiencing? And I get that, and I felt the same exact things. And every time I tend to think about those, and they come up a lot, and they think about them over and over and over again, I tend to pull myself out of this situation and tend to think about the thoughts that I have over and over and over again. It becomes clear to me why I'm having those thoughts. Because the reality is that those thoughts have me at the center every single time. Every single time. It's about, I don't have enough money. I'm not going to be here. It's not what I want. It's not for the benefit of others. That's not the thought that I'm thinking. I'm thinking about, okay, how can I benefit myself? And in reality, like we've been saying, that just leads to a forgettable life. And the reality is yes, I may not be here in Austin or in the state whenever this new building comes up, but there are people that I love and people that I care about that are going to still be here. People like my family are going to be here. Olivia's not in my family, but she's still going to be here, but y'all get the point. My family is going to be here. And regardless if I'm in this city or not, regardless of where I'm at, it's not a want, I need Inside Out to be a place where they can come. I need North Point to be a place where they can come. I need this to be a place for my sister whenever she is a junior and senior in high school. Juniors and seniors, we know what that's like. There's ups and downs. It's a huge roller coaster in life. It's not a want. I need this to be a place where my sister can come and she can feel relaxed and she can feel love and she can feel a moment to just breathe. Through the highs and lows of junior year, this is what I need there to be a place for. I need this to be a place where my parents, where my mom and dad can come and they can feel accepted and they can feel loved and they can just feel welcomed in this environment. That's why I'm choosing to give to For Austin. It's not because of me. It's just because of the people that I love are still going to be here. Not only that, but the 8th grade transit small group that I lead right now is going to be here. And not just going to be here, they are going to be the future of this church. They're going to be leading this environment along with some of y'all here. And the reason why I'm giving to For Austin is because they're going to be here. And I care about them so much. And I need this to be a place for them to come and they can feel accepted as a freshman. Because each and every single one of us are experiencing freshman year or have experienced freshman year. And we know what it's like walking into those doors our first day of freshman year, regardless of the school that we go to, and we have no idea what's going to happen. We don't know where we're going to sit at lunch. We don't know if we're going to have friends in our classroom. If we're going to get picked on by the upperclassmen, we have no idea, and there's this fear inside of us. And I need this to be a place. It's not a want. I need this to be a place where they can come and they can feel accepted for being a freshman. Regardless of how they're treated at school, regardless of anything that's going on in their life, I need this to be a place where it's consistent and that they are accepted and they are comfortable here as a freshman. What I'm trying to get at, our bottom line is that you for you benefits no one. You for you benefits no one. It doesn't even benefit yourself, because when you're trying to be for yourself, when you're trying to be a sponge to life and hold on everything to life, try to suck everything in on life, you're still trying to fill this hole that is just so empty, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you never feel the void that you need to fill in life. You for you benefits no one. But you for others makes a difference. You for others makes a difference. Then the next question that begs to be asked is then, okay, then how can I practically do this? How can I practically give my time, and maybe some of us our money, into this world and to make a difference? And one of the ways that I sort of hinted at earlier was giving to 4 Austin. And I want to be careful with how I say this, because I'm not trying to come up here and say, you all need to give your money to 4 Austin, give everything you have. That's not what I'm trying to say. Because I know whenever you give to 4 Austin, that's a connection between you and God, and that's a decision that you and God have made. And if God is leading you to donate 0 to 4 Austin, then donate 0. But that does not mean that you cannot be a part of this movement. That does not mean that you cannot love a city like it's never been loved before and serve a city that is like it's never been served before. And we can do that by investing and inviting. Maybe that's going to invest in somebody that's coming after you, or investing in the people around you and inviting them to a place like this, a place where they know they're accepted and loved for who they are. And the last one that I think that we can do is we can serve. We can start serving in different capacities and in different places. Maybe that's serving here at North Point, or that's serving one of the thousands of nonprofit organizations that we have here in Austin, that we can serve, that we can give our time and our money in different ways. And maybe these are just some of them. Guys, again, the bottom line that I just want to drive home tonight is that you for you benefits no one, but you for others makes a difference. You can make an impact in the world. It makes a difference. And how this actually looks in your life, how you can apply this in your life, I would love for y'all to discover that in your small groups. But before we go ahead and do that, let me go ahead and pray for y'all. Heavenly Father, God, Lord, I just thank you for this day. I thank you for this place called Inside Out, that you've designed here in this time, in this moment, to be here. And we know this place wouldn't be here without you sending your son, Jesus, for us. And we're just so thankful for that. God, I pray as we wrap up for Austin here that we're reminded that this is not the end, but this is only the beginning of something big. God, I pray that you just show each and every single one of these people here in the room tonight how they can be for a city, how they can love and serve a city like it's never been loved before. God, I pray that you just remind them that you for you benefits no one, but you for others makes a difference. God, I love you big. We need you big. It's in your son's name that we pray. Amen.